Hello, incredible soul. Welcome back to the Embodied Woman podcast. I am your host, Anafink, the Wellness Architect, and today I want to share the power of lymphatic wellness. The lymphatic system is something that I've been fascinated by and intrigued by for quite a long time, and I've been focusing a lot on the lymphatic wellness in my coaching, in my practice as a wellness architect, and in my movement practices and sessions with clients because the lymphatic system has been one of those systems in the body, like the liver, that has been overlooked and undervalued. And I love to see that we are trending more in the direction toward lymphatic wellness and awareness. But there are a lot of misleading trends within the space that lead us away from what's true health and healing practices versus what's trending. And so here, my intention is to transmit truth, to share with you what I have found to be true and ways to enhance and support your lymphatic wellness. There are so many different things out there where people are becoming more aware of the impact and the importance of their lymphatic health and wellness. And while it's important to acknowledge all of the manual lymphatic drainage and massages and practices out there, we also want to get to the root because if you're just doing band-aid symptoms and treatments, you're not going to experience the true results and transformation that you desire. We look at everything holistically. So it's not just about the movement we're doing, it's not just about the massages we're getting, the manual lymphatic drainage or the compression therapy, all these different modalities that support the lymph, but the root of that, which is the liver and cleansing the body to promote healthy lymph flow. So the lymphatic system, for those of you who are newer to understanding it, is part of the circulatory system and the immune system. And there are a lot of immune cells in our lymphatic fluid. And so when the lymphatic fluid is sluggish and stagnant, the immune cells can't function optimally and the circulation can't flow the way it's designed to flow. And because the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump, like the circulatory system has the heart that serves as more than just a pump, but does circulate the blood, we need to engage in manual lymphatic movements and drainage and different things to promote that movement and flow of the lymphatic system. Now, the purpose and design of the lymphatic system is to promote fluid balance, to support cleansing and detoxification. It helps to modulate the immune system. And so, when we understand the role and the purpose of the lymphatic system, we can then begin to understand ways to support it holistically. And that comes through our lifestyle design, the movement we practice, the movement we engage in, the breath and how we breathe, because as we breathe, we expand our lungs, we expand these different muscles, which help to circulate the lymphatic system. Lifestyle practices, lifestyle design with nutrition and supplementation, there are certain foods that hinder the flow and health of the lymph, and there are certain foods that promote the health and flow of the lymph. So those are important to recognize and to note. And then manual techniques to help support the lymphatic drainage and flow, because without these practices and awarenesses, the lymphatic system becomes sluggish and stagnant. And you see this a lot. And it's so important to know the truth so that you can empower yourselves with the tools to cleanse your body to support your lymphatic system. And I recently led an in-person lymphatic wellness workshop at one of the Pilates studios that I'm teaching at. And what I love doing is bringing people through an experience because it's one thing to know something and have the information, but it's another thing entirely to experience the power of that information, to embody it, because that is what leads to true transformation. And so this lymphatic wellness experience was designed to be an embodied experience. It was designed so we got to rebound and I got to share about these powerful truths of the lymphatic system, ways to support it, foods that support it, practices that support it, foods that hinder lymphatic wellness, and explore different tools and practices that I'll share more later on, like breath work, like the rebounding, like the gua sha and the dry brushing, because it's so powerful when you have the truth, tools, and information to heal. your body begins to come back to life and your radiance is reignited. It's activated in an entirely new way. So, this is why this lymphatic wellness is such a dear topic to my heart, but also it's going to be one of my signature workshops because I have witnessed so many shifts in my own body and notice when my lymphatic system feels sluggish and stagnant versus when it feels vibrant, alive, and cleansed. So, when we're looking at the lymphatic system and wellness, we want to start with the liver because the liver is the primary organ of detoxification and it purifies the blood, it filters out pathogens, toxins, etc. And it's designed to absorb excess adrenaline so that it protects the body from excess adrenaline impacting our nerves or other bodily systems. But what happens is through time and through the diet and through the exposures to toxicity and pathogens, toxic heavy metals, our livers become sluggish and stagnant. And so that then leads to a backflow and overflow into the lymphatic system. And so that causes the lymphatic system to then become sluggish and stagnant. And most people, like 9 out of 10 people right now, are dealing with sluggish, stagnant livers, which then is leading to a sluggish lymphatic flow. Ironically, so many of the foods that are marketed to us to eat that are deemed quote unquote healthy are leading us away from health and are actually health hindering. So when we're looking at the lymphatic system and we're looking at the liver, we want to focus in on diet and nutrition and lifestyle to really support the body. So some of the foods that we're eating actually hinder us. And the very food we eat really gets to be medicine. You get to use the power of food to help heal you, or the food you eat can harm you and hinder your health. So there is a lot of misleading information around what foods are good for you and what are healthy for your liver and your lymph. But this is the intention of the nutrition space where it's like they're strategically misleading people from the truth, and that confusion and that overwhelm of feeling like, well, what is true, and trying all these trends is what keeps people disconnected from their body and disempowered and experiencing symptoms and conditions that they don't have the answers to heal. And so my purpose and intention is to reconnect you to your body and to your truth, to understand what you actually need to heal and what you need to thrive. So, knowing the distinction between which foods are health hindering and prevent cleansing versus which foods are health promoting and encourage cleansing and healing in the lymph and the lymphatic system. So, with that, I want you to just become aware of your own body and your own state of health and well-being, and notice if you notice any inflammation, any joint pain, any puffiness, anything like acne, anything like skin presentations, eczema, psoriasis, rashes, things like that, dry skin, weight gain, fluid retention, blackheads and clogged pores, energy issues, fatigue, all of these are a sign that your body needs more support and needs to cleanse. A lot of weight gain is actually fluid retention because weight gain reflects the liver health. And when the liver is sluggish and overburdened, it then starts to store weight. And then this also results in a clogged lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system will retain fluid to dilute toxicity, and that results in more weight gain. So a lot of weight gain is actually fluid retention and also compacted fecal matter in the large intestine that needs to be excreted, but is not because dehydration, the lymph is clogged, the liver is overburdened. Now, there are other symptoms, but most everyone could benefit from really supporting their lymphatic system with food, with lifestyle, with supplementation. And so, while manual lymphatic drainage is so incredibly supported and needed, it's also so important to begin building the foundation of radiant health within, because if you don't have that foundation, you're constantly going to be doing manual lymphatic drainage, and there are ways to optimize the results of that and to cleanse the body with certain foods, hydration after a massage, after a rebounding session, to really purge the body, the system of those toxins even more. And the external practices are like band-aids if you're not actually doing the deeper healing and cleansing with your lifestyle. Now, Some of the foods that really cleanse the lymph include apples. They are some of the most cleansing foods. Fruit are just incredible. Fruits are amazing to cleanse, to alkalize, to rejuvenate the liver, the body, to increase the immune system strength, and just alkalize everything within the body, but also deliver key nutrients to support the liver's healing and regeneration, to support the lymphatic system. Then you have asparagus, which is really amazing to rejuvenate the adrenals, but also to cleanse the liver, to support the lymphatic system. Citrus fruits, which are high in vitamin C and bioflavonoids, are important because they alkalize the body and support collagen and capillary strength. So you want to incorporate more citrus fruits. Cruciferous vegetables are incredibly healing because of the sulfur compounds. They're incredibly cleansing and alkalizing for the body. Leafy greens are some of the most alkalizing foods, and they especially alkalize the lymphatic system, cleanse the lymphatic system. Melons are also amazing because they hydrate the body on a really deep level and they detoxify the body. They also cleanse the kidneys and the lymphatic fluid. And then wild blueberries are some of my favorite because they have twice the amount of antioxidants than the regular conventionally grown blueberries. And they help to detox the body, to support the liver's cleansing, to rejuvenate the adrenals, to cleanse the lymph, etc. Now, these are just a few foods, but anything that is a whole fruit or whole vegetable is going to support your liver and support your lymph. Foods that clog your lymph, that hinder your lymphatic flow, include eggs, which are high in fat. They are foods that feed pathogens. So anytime you're dealing with any kind of symptom, it's likely due to a pathogen. And dairy, it creates mucus in the body. It's mucogenic, so it creates a lot of mucus in your membranes and clogs the lymphatic system. It also creates stagnation in the body and burdens the liver. Gluten is another one that can trigger inflammation and block absorption of nutrients in the body. And in high fat and high protein diets, while they've been touted as very healthy and health promoting, they are quite the contrary because fat prevents cleansing. And anytime you're preventing cleansing, you're harming the liver. Your body is designed to cleanse, your liver is designed to cleanse, but because we're burdened with so many toxins and environmental pollution and pathogens, etc., our bodies need more support. So it's not enough to just do the manual lymphatic drainage. We need the extra support that comes from our food. And many people are doing the high fat, high protein diets, which prevent cleansing. They create acidity in the body, they diminish the oxygen concentration, they increase fluid retention and increase toxicity. So that also slows the digestion and that also increases weight gain, and so many other factors are influenced. So something to keep in mind is to really eliminate and minimize your fat consumption. Hydration is a key factor for lymphatic wellness and health because when you're dehydrated, your body will retain more fluid to dilute toxins. And when you're dehydrated, your lymph becomes sluggish and is not flowing optimally. And then it becomes more viscous and thick and stagnant. So, true hydration, like living vibrant water from springs, from filtered water that is enhanced with lemon juice, lime juice, all of these things are living foods that restructure the water, remineralize your body, alkalize your body are really important because when you're drinking chemically treated tap water or poorly filtered water, you're getting a lot of the chlorine, the fluoride, all of these other hormones, all these other pharmaceutical runoff components that then burden your liver's toxicity level and create more stagnation. So the quality of your water is essential to consider, and I would highly recommend having a water filter, but you can also bring in more coconut water, which is amazing to revitalize your adrenals and to bring in more of those electrolytes. Lemon water is amazing because it's alkalizing and cleansing. Coconut water, as I've mentioned, can also hydrate the body at the cellular level, just like lemon water. Celery juice is antiviral, antibacterial, incredibly mineralizing for the bones, the teeth, and it's pathogen inhibiting. So it's going to promote the elimination of these different pathogens causing the symptoms in the first place. It's going to rejuvenate the liver and cleanse the lymph. And cucumber juice is incredibly hydrating because cucumbers are composed of like 80 some percent water. And so they're cooling for the liver, they cleanse the liver, and they cleanse the lymphatic system. Now, when we're looking at lymphatic wellness practices, you can do simple practices like dry brushing. You can get a soft to medium soft to medium bristle brush and stroke upward toward your heart just gently, because the lymphatic system is so superficial in the body. So you don't need a lot of pressure to stimulate the flow, but strokes that are long toward the heart are very healthy for the lymph. And you just take that brush before the shower and do that daily. This will really support your circulatory system and support your lymphatic system. Gua sha, which is a traditional Chinese medicine technique to really promote the lymph, but they do it more with pressure. So it's called skin scraping. But with gua sha, you want to do lighter strokes, gentle strokes to mobilize that lymph and minimize puffiness, but also enhance your immune strength and the flow, and also helps to minimize tension in the face and the body. And again, stroke toward the heart. And then lymphatic massage, lymphatic drainage, all those manual lymph techniques can be really supportive with a practitioner. And after a massage, after lymphatic techniques, you want to drink lemon water because that will support the flushing of toxins, the elimination of toxins at a deeper level. Now, for movements, movement is the key for our lymphatic system. So walking is incredibly powerful. That stimulates the natural lymphatic flow and oxygenates the body. Rebounding is my favorite way to support the lymphatic health. So you're going to stay with both feet planted on the rebounder and have a micro bend in your knees to maximize the gravitational pull, thus maximizing the cleansing of the lymphatic system. Breath work, gentle inhales in through the nose, out through the mouth. Help to expand your lung capacity, expand your breath, and mobilize the lymph in those different parts of your torso. And then stretching, yoga, dance, like all these other movements are really good to invite flow into your lymphatic system. If we're doing a lot of weight training and high intensity training, we're releasing a lot of adrenaline and lactic acid, which can impact our lymphatic system. So we want to be very intentional with the kind of movement we're engaging in, especially if you are a woman and is dealt with hormonal imbalance, infertility, reproductive health issues, adrenal fatigue. You want to be mindful of the kind of movement. Less is often more, even though we've been taught to believe that it's has to be more, that more is better, which is not always true. So your lymphatic system is so important to prioritize. It's going to enhance your radiance, your complexion. A lot of the dry, saggy skin and stretch marks that we get, or just that premature aging, stems from liver and lymph. So the more hydrated we are, the more we can cleanse, the more we can rejuvenate the body with living, intelligent, structured water and foods to alkalize the body. The more you're going to feel that radiance, that lightness, that energy increase and have an impact in every area of your life. So I trust this finds you when it's needed and when you're feeling inspired to elevate your wellness and your rituals with respect to wellness. I'd love to hear what your greatest takeaways were from this episode. And if there's someone you know who's really needing support with their health and wellness, please share this episode with them. All of the insights that I share will support them in so many ways, seen and unseen. And it's my greatest honor and joy to be with you on this journey. Again, if you would like to reach out with any questions, please reach out to me. You can share, review this podcast. I would love your words. And thank you so much for being here on this journey with me to radiance. And I will see you soon.